It's 4:37 a.m. The Caribbean Sea looks calm, black, and endless. But on the radar screens inside the destroyer USS Lassen, a strange shape appears fast, silent, and without a flag. Every sailor in the Combat Information Center freezes. The ship's commander leans closer, eyes sharp. 45 knots, someone says. Too fast for fishing, too clean for cargo. Infrared cameras show metal containers on deck. Then, without warning, the vessel opens a hidden hatch. A quick burst of electromagnetic noise hits the sensors. Alpha Protocol, the commander orders. Sirens spin red. The phalanx gun comes alive, whirring louder and louder. A second later, tungsten rounds shred the night. The explosion lights the sea like lightning. But before the crew can breathe, sonar reports something new. A metallic shadow moving underwater 20 kilometers away, closing in slow and steady. The commander has to decide, hold fire, or call in air support now and risk waking the whole region. That radar echo wasn't just a random blip, it happened inside one of the most watched stretches of ocean on Earth. The waters east of Puerto Rico form a natural wall for American shipping lanes that link the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic, and the Panama Canal. Every radar, every sonar buoy, every patrol drone here runs day and night. Nothing moves without being logged. That's why when a flagless vessel races through at 45 knots, it isn't just suspicious. It's a direct challenge to US control of the Caribbean. The destroyer USS Lassen is part of the 4th Fleet, one of the units that never sleeps. Her job, track anything that could threaten those routes, from drug runners to foreign recon ships. But tonight, what showed up wasn't smuggling, it was electronic warfare. The sudden electromagnetic burst meant one thing. Someone was testing how far they could go before the Navy reacted. If this was a spy vessel, it could relay targeting data to shore batteries in Venezuela within seconds. If it carried containerized anti-ship missiles, those boxes on deck could open and fire in less than a minute. A single strike could take down a billion-dollar destroyer and send shockwaves through the hemisphere. But this wasn't just strategy. Inside the ship, every sailor knew what it meant. The Caribbean had always been the Navy's quiet backyard until now. If a foreign network could map us patrols here, it could strike anywhere from Florida to Texas. For the men and women aboard Lassen, that meant this wasn't just about radar screens, it was about home. Somewhere under the black waves, a metallic shadow was still moving closer. No one knew if it carried torpedoes or just silence, but silence was often worse. If you think that contact was a submarine, press 1. If you believe it was something else, press 9. And subscribe. The next minutes will decide who truly controls the Caribbean. The first alert came from sonar. Possible sub, bearing 095, range 18 kilometers. The voice on the headset was calm but tense. On USS Lassen, calm voices always meant danger. The captain leaned closer to the console. Confirm depth. Shallow to moderate, sir. Moving slow. That slow, steady return meant control whoever it was. They knew exactly where they were. Inside the Combat Information Center, the air felt heavy. Technicians watched green lines crawl across glowing screens while the deck vibrated from the engines below. Every sound key clicks. Headset hisses felt louder than it should. Maintain course. No lights, the captain ordered. The crew moved like clockwork, silent but sharp. Then the call everyone waited for. Thermal spike container opening on target 1. Alpha confirmed, said the captain. Engage! The phalanx gun roared, spraying tungsten into the black. The sea turned white for 2 seconds, then swallowed the flames. The ghost ship was gone, erased from the radar. But the relief lasted seconds. Multiple returns, same bearing, sonar warned. Could be decoys, one tech said. Or torpedoes, another whispered. All stations, defensive posture, bravo, the captain snapped. The destroyer shifted, engines surging, systems humming alive. Hundreds of miles away in Panama, 4 F-16 Sea Fighting Falcons from Howard Air Base received the go order. Operation Silent Hammer is live. Their mission neutralized Venezuela's El Libertador Air Base, believed to hold anti-ship missile systems. On board Lassen, The radar lit with 4 dots racing across the sea, hugging the surface to stay invisible. "Weapons green," said comms. "Execute," the captain replied. The AGM-158 JASSM missiles cut through the sky with perfect precision. 3 minutes later, seismic monitors in Caracas detected tremors. Fuel bunkers erupted, hangars collapsed, and shockwaves rolled through the valley. From Lassen's deck, distant flashes flickered like silent lightning over the horizon. The sonar display cleared, but no one spoke. The contact was gone or hiding deeper. Every man and woman in that room knew the truth. The first strike never ends the fight. It only wakes it up. If you were there, would you feel safer or sense the storm still building beneath those waves? Press 1 for safer, 9 for afraid, and subscribe to stay with us as this war in the Caribbean begins. Explosions rolled across Venezuela, rumbling through the Caribbean night. From USS Lassen's bridge, faint flashes glowed on the horizon, each one a confirmed hit. What started as a single intercept had become a full-scale strike. "Impact verified," a voice said over the headset. The captain stared at the horizon. "Then it's begun." In Caracas, sirens wailed. At El Libertador Air Base, radar towers collapsed into flames. Thermal images from orbit showed entire grids of heat expanding across the region. Operation Silent Hammer had hit hard. But the counterattack came fast. At 5:23 p.m., USS Porter, positioned west of Lassen, detected 6 launches from Venezuela's coast. "Missiles inbound, 6 fast movers," the watch officer warned. "Weapons free." Standard missile, 2 interceptors roared from their tubes. 2 enemy missiles exploded at launch. 3 more vanished in the sky. The 6th kept coming. The CIC went silent as the tone rose faster and faster. "Close in weapons," ordered the captain. The phalanx gun opened fire, spitting a storm of tungsten. The missile disintegrated less than a kilometer from the ship, raining metal across the waves. No cheers, just the sound of breathing through headsets. "Negative hit, all systems green," the tech confirmed. They all knew what it meant. Venezuela had fired first. In Washington, the president received the call. "They launched 6 confirmed anti-ship missiles," said his advisor. "Casualties? None, sir." The response was simple: "Then stop them now." Operation Iron Hammer was launched at 7 p.m. 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, Lassen, Porter, and USS Roosevelt, took position. Vertical launch hatches opened in rows. "Tomahawks ready," said the weapons officer. "Fire!" The night lit up as Tomahawk Block 5 missiles shot skyward, streaking east toward Caracas, Maracay, and Puerto Cabello. Their flames reflected on the sea like falling stars. The captain whispered, "It's begun." No one answered. The red lights inside the CIC pulsed as radar screens filled again. The Caribbean was awake, and no one knew how far this war would reach. If you think this strike ended the fight, press 1. If you believe it's only the start, press 9 and subscribe to stay through the next wave of this battle. At first, command thought the crisis was over. The Tomahawks had done their job, radar sights down, missile bases silent. But deep in the Pentagon's data room, analysts found something strange. The destroyed vessel from the start of the operation had been transmitting before it blew short bursts of coded signals bouncing across the region. It wasn't just a weapons carrier. It was bait. That ghost ship had acted like a decoy, drawing American sensors toward one point while hidden batteries onshore prepared a real strike from another direction. Intelligence now revealed that the K-102 Amperes launchers near Puerto Cabello had been paired with electronic warfare vans, mobile units designed to jam radar for exactly 60 seconds, just enough time for one missile to slip through. The crew of USS Porter had no idea when they cheered that last intercept. Somewhere in the smoke, a second plan was already in motion. Satellite sweeps caught faint signs of movement convoys heading inland, then disappearing. Analysts warned that more launchers might be moving through tunnels built years earlier under old fuel depots. On USS Lassen, the captain reviewed the logs in silence. The ocean was calm, but it felt wrong too, still too clean. "They were never firing blind," he muttered. "They were watching us." The words hung in the air. A new order came from command. track, locate, and neutralize any surviving radar nodes feeding the network. The destroyer shifted course north, radar dishes sweeping wide, scanning for a new enemy they couldn't yet see. What no one aboard knew was that this move would trigger the final twist of the campaign, a shift not just in tactics, but in the balance of power across the Caribbean. It was 8:12 p.m. when the first Tomahawk missile struck Fort Tiuna in Caracas. The explosions rolled like thunder through the mountains. On USS Lassen, the Combat Information Center glowed red. "Impact confirmed," the radio operator said. The captain didn't answer. He just watched the radar map as enemy signals vanished one by one. At El Libertador Air Base, hangars collapsed in flames. One pilot, still strapped in his fighter, felt the roof tear away above him. Dust filled the air, lights flickered out. In Maracay, the second wave of missiles destroyed fuel bunkers and radar towers. 70% of Venezuela's air defense network was gone in less than 3 hours. Inside Lassen, sweat rolled down faces despite the freezing air conditioning. Machines hummed, consoles beeped in sync. "Status?" asked the XO. "No hits, systems green." For a moment, silence returned, heavy and unreal. Outside, the sea burned faintly orange from reflections miles away. Then came a report that changed everything. Multiple armored convoys detected leaving Maracay, heading toward Miraflores Palace. The feed showed tanks on the move. The name flashed on screen: General Rafael Castillo. The analysts understood instantly. This wasn't a foreign invasion anymore. It was the start of a coup. By 4:18 a.m., Castillo's forces had reached the capital. From satellite view, tracer rounds cut lines of light across dark streets. Inside the palace, chaos reigned. Loyalists and rebels exchanged gunfire in narrow halls. Then, silence. The final image came through an intercepted broadcast: Nicolas Maduro, dusty and disoriented, surrounded by soldiers. One shouted, "Libertad!" as cameras rolled. Within minutes, the clip spread across the world. After 2 decades of rule, the Bolivarian regime had fallen overnight. On USS Lassen, no one cheered. The captain stood by the window, watching the coastline flicker with smoke. "It's over," said one sailor. "No," the captain replied quietly. "It's only the start." If you think peace will return after this night, press 1. If you believe the real fight is still coming, press 9 and subscribe to follow the next chapter of this Caribbean war. When dawn rose over Caracas, the city looked like another world. Smoke poured from what was once Fort Tiuna, drifting over broken rooftops. The air smelled of burned fuel and dust. The Bolivarian army had vanished overnight, its command scattered, its leaders in hiding, its soldiers wandering without orders. Streets once filled with parades now echoed with quiet footsteps and the distant hum of generators. By mid-morning, huge C-17 Globemaster III transports rumbled in from the south, landing on cracked highways converted into runways. They carried medics, engineers, communication teams, and tons of supplies. On Venezuelan state TV, General Rafael Castillo appeared before a crowd of troops. His voice was steady but worn. "We are not conquerors," he said. "We are rebuilders." He promised open elections within 6 months and asked for international aid. In Washington, the president called the fall of the regime a victory for freedom. Across the hemisphere, the reactions were split. Brazil, Colombia, and Peru celebrated. Crowds waved both their own flags and the Venezuelan tricolor. But in Moscow and Beijing, statements of condemnation filled the airwaves, accusing the US of staging regime change under the mask of liberation. Diplomats raced to contain the fallout as new lines of power began to form across the map. Analysts at Jane's Defense Weekly called it a turning point. The Caribbean is no longer a quiet sea. It's a stage of constant surveillance. Fleets now moved under satellite eyes. Drones looped in invisible circles above the water. The US Navy had reshaped the region, but also reignited the rivalry that history had only buried, not ended. As dusk returned, USS Lassen floated quietly on calm water. The crew worked in silence, repairing cables, cleaning the deck, watching smoke rise far away. A young sailor leaned on the railing, whispering, "It's over," the captain answered softly. "No, it's never really over." If you believe this was true liberation, press 1. If you think it's the start of something far more dangerous, press 9. And subscribe to follow the next chapter of this new Caribbean Cold War.